Good morning, guys. Friday Frenzy with Mark and Lisa Novak. We're going to recap everything that's been going on in the week in real estate and maybe even our lives. We'll be back with you shortly. Well, the weather's cooled.
It's definitely colder.
So is the market.
Yeah. So looking at the data, It's the first time we've started to see data come out of RP data, showing a distinct little correction in the market.
Yeah.
So we've been telling clients since November, it's not quite what it was in the first 3 quarters of the year, and now it's officially coming through now, all that information. So
absolutely.
Is that good news or bad news?
Look, it's just real news. The market can't continue to climb at that furious pace that it was climbing at when the market was really at its peak in November.
Yep.
It just can't do that. Otherwise, anyone who owned property would be, trillionaires if the market just kept climbing like that. It would be so unattainable.
You don't want it to do that either, I think, because you're setting up for a pretty big correction if it went.
Yeah.
If it repeated that whole year last year to the whole year this year, we'd be setting up for some pretty dire times.
No, that's exactly right. So, I personally prefer a much more level market. I think a lot of people think agents love that crazy market. Any great agent really doesn't. When you guys see out there, sold for record price, street record, block record, everyone is a rock star. Every real estate agent is a rock star in a roaring hot market. But everyone gets a street record in a roaring hot market.
For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So every time that agent was ranting about what a great price there was buyers licking their wounds.
Absolutely.
Going, how the hell am I going to buy? Oh shit! So there's just it's good to see that it's not back. We call it a balanced market. So it was definitely a seller's market in those first 3 quarters, a radical seller's market where buyers were licking their wounds. It's not quite a buyer's market that we're in now.
Yeah.
It's sort of right in between. So that's just a really nice transactional market for a seller and for a buyer to do things level-headedly.
Yeah, it is. It's a much more balanced market. So let's take the comparison of a property that we just sold in Bix Road in DY. Yep. I'm going to use that as an example because that's what we consider a lead-in house price on the Northern Beaches. It sold at auction a couple of weeks ago. That was really the absolute marker for me that the market had started to turn because we had over 120 buyers come through the property. That was one of those open homes where people were lining up out the front.
Nuts.
Over 120 buyers came through, 3.5-week campaign, and then we ended up with 1 registered bidder. And I remember thinking, what the hell's going on? We were due to have a good 4 to 6 registered bidders. Yeah. We had the one, we ended up getting the deal done and it sold at 2.2. But that for me was the real marker. And I remember saying to Vic LaRusso, Mark, our auctioneer, Vic, where's all the bidders? And he said to me, this is every auction today has been the same.
Yep.
It was evident that was what was going on. But a property like that, Mark, that would have sold 12 months ago would have been a 1.6 mil, right?
Not only that, but what does the government do when it's such a radical market for not 1 year but 2 years? The government, the Reserve Bank, banks, they step in and they slow things down. What does that look like? Interest rate hikes, harder to get loans, and that sort of thing. So I think if the government's very careful now that they don't want the market to overcorrect to go into negative equity. I heard a really good question on television the other night when they were doing the budget.
Yeah.
Because what they've done for first home buyers that are single parents is they've done a 2% deposit. So traditionally,
I saw that.
So traditionally, you need 20%. So that means 18% is being insured by the government with LMI, Lenders Mortgage Insurance. And what that means is if that market corrects more than 2%, then you're in negative equity.
Yeah.
So they're saying, to the government, the guys in government, are you scared for people that have borrowed um, with only 98% with only a 2% deposit, if the market's going to correct, 5, 10, 15%, those guys are into negative equity. They're in trouble.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very clever question. The reason I'm saying that is I think that approach is taken by government across all lending in the marketplace, and they don't want to whack rates up high, crazy high. Variable rates, as a matter of fact, they've probably even gone down in the last 3 to 6 months. Not fixed, but variable.
Yeah.
Because I think now I think that's almost more of a sure thing now. Don't know, but I'm guessing. But I think it's more of a sure thing now that variable rates are going to sort of hover, not go up, because if they plunge that market into negative equity hard, there's a lot of people in trouble.
Yeah.
A lot of first-home buyers.
But the evidence is out there, guys, just about, we're talking this morning about the market cooling. The evidence is out there, and I think it's important to note the bottom is not falling out of the market. The example that I gave just a short moment ago, a lead-in house on the Northern Beaches sold under the hammer a couple of weeks ago for 2.2. That house ordinarily about 12 months ago would have been selling for 1.6. So the market is still up from where it was 12 months ago, but it's leveled out now. So what are we seeing? We're seeing smaller groups of buyers, but very concise buyers coming through. I'm seeing on average about 6 buyers coming through open homes on average. And out of those 6, about 4 to 5 of them are actually ready to buy now. So that's really interesting. All right. In a very heated market, we can see those big numbers of 20 to 30 groups coming through open homes. But a lot of people are just looking. They're just window shopping and they're testing the market. And out of that 20 odd buyers that are looking, believe it or not, we only see about 4 to 5 really keen people that are ready to buy now. So that's interesting to note, that the actual interest in those buyers that are still coming through is still phenomenal. And that's important. If you're one of these people that are watching and you're thinking about bringing your property to market now, it's still a very, very good market. What I find, Mark, in a one of these thriving markets like we're just coming out of, is sometimes vendor expectations can be so unrealistic because you just don't know. People are shooting for the stars and we don't know where we're shooting to sometimes.
It's all relative though.
It is. But, you'll bring a property on and you'll say to a vendor, look, I'm estimating that your property sits somewhere between that sort of 2.5 to, 2.7. And they go, oh, we want something with a 3 in front. It's like, okay, that's a big price. We've already, gotten... Yeah, we're estimating a big price.
And look, sometimes we're getting $100,000 more for a vendor. We may be getting only $5 or $10,000 more than on what they thought. But what that also means is when they go to buy something in a thriving market, they have to pay $200,000 more than what they thought. Yeah, because they were buying at a higher price point. So it's a balanced market.
But where that works really well, sorry.
Yeah,
I'll let you finish.
I was just going to move on next topic.
Oh, I was just going to say where that works really well, and what we saw a lot of on the Northern Beaches and continue to, although the floods have thrown a bit of a spanner in the works, is people were selling up on the beaches and they were buying up and down the east coast of Australia.
Yeah.
That's also come to a grinding halt for obvious reasons. A lot of these regions are flooding.
Yeah.
So a lot of people's plans have been put on hold with that as well. So there is a few different factors. Believe it or not, the war plays a part as well, even though we're so far away. It does play a part. Just all these uncertainties, new government, interest rates, all this stuff, it does play a part in it.
It's sentiment. Sentiment's a bloody hard thing to measure, but all these things are coming into it.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Oh, that's a big topic, Mark. That's a big topic.
He's got to get smacked as well.
Yeah. I must say, we actually were probably one of the last ones to watch it because we just didn't get around to watching it, but heard so much about what had gone on.
Yeah.
And which led us to then watch his new movie.
Great movie.
It was a really good movie.
That's
King
William.
I don't condone that whatsoever. I'm not one on massive opinions because everyone is entitled to their own. But I do not agree at all. I think if someone has got a gripe with somebody, getting up on global TV at an award ceremony is not the time or the place to take out your indifferences. And I respect why he was doing it. I don't respect, please don't take me wrong, I do not respect for a moment violence of any description.
I don't respect the smack, and I don't respect the joke. I think the joke was
I think the joke was out of line. You don't joke about someone's medical problems. Yeah. That's completely crossing the line.
Lux listings?
Lux listings. It's everywhere. So
we've got to talk about Lux listings.
We have to talk about Lux listings.
Real estate agents.
Yeah. So and it's quite funny actually, because Delene and I have been very, very good friends for many, many years. And I tell you what, she's a damn hard worker. She juggles 2 small children, and then to be a principal, a real estate agent, a mum of 2 small children, and to be able to then throw into the mix filming a TV show. Oh my God.
Incredible.
I don't know when those guys are sleeping, because they're running at a furious pace. But, good luck to them. I think it makes for awesome TV watching.
They got Monica Chu on this time.
Yeah, she's a weapon. Monica's crazy. She's funny.
Added another real estate agent. Has it aired yet?
No, I think it starts today. I could be wrong, but I do think it starts today or maybe tomorrow.
And I think they drop all seasons at once, don't they?
They drop so you've got season 2 now, and they drop all the series at the same time. So you can literally binge watch the whole lot.
Which we did when
we did that last time.
Came out.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang.
And can I just say, we actually do know a lot of those guys. We know Gavin. As I said, Delane's a very, very good friend of ours. Monica I've met also many times, as I have Simon. They're all very true to their character, which I love.
Yeah.
I love that. And Delene certainly is.
And I think it's all hyped.
Yeah.
Because hype sells.
Yeah.
So it is hyped up a bit, but it sells.
But well done. I think they're doing an awesome job. I really do. We have to remember these guys aren't actors.
It's entertainment.
They're not actors. It is entertainment. I think it's awesome. So well done. Congratulations, guys. Hats off to you, because that is tricky. It really is tricky to juggle all of that. Yeah, absolutely.
Friday frenzy. Anything else to talk about, Lisa?
So this week has been actually quite a normal week, which is very nice. It's been a very balanced week. There's been a few difficult conversations with vendors, which I don't love. But I think, I know as a real estate agent, it's important that we are reporting what we are seeing and hearing on the ground.
Yeah.
And I always promise my vendors that if the news is good or bad, I can always promise you that I will be giving you the good, honest truth about what's going on in the market.
And we can't
control that.
We can't control the real estate weather that we're giving you.
Yeah.
The real estate weather, sometimes it's rainy, sometimes it's sunny in real estate. And what I mean by that is market up, market down, you don't know. And you just report the weather. You just report it to the client. That's how the market's going.
Look, the thing is, and any vendor meetings that I was doing from 4 weeks ago, Mark, I was sitting there going, I think, I feel, I'm seeing, I'm not sure. But now, as you mentioned earlier on, we actually have got the data. So I did a vendor update yesterday with some lovely vendors of mine. They've been caught in the turning of the market, and simply just printed off on A4 pieces of paper properties that have recently come on at new prices we haven't seen for a long time, and properties that have recently sold over the last week or 2, and that very clearly starts to paint the picture. So the data is absolutely out there. Yeah.
And one thing I want everyone to really strongly look at is funding. I think funding is the unspoken. It's the stone unturned. It's perception. It's sentiment. It's all of those things in one big bundle, but all very personal as well.
Yeah.
I do encourage people to look at that even more so. I think moving forward in the next year, 2 and 3, it's going to be a game of not what can I buy, but more of a game of what can I borrow. So I think the next 12 to 36 months is going to be it's going to be really about your financing. Banks there's open banking out now, which was launched a little while back, where banks have a hell of a lot of information on people, a hell of a lot more information than they ever had. Yeah. So I think that funding process is much more rigorous. Yeah. I think the levels the governments have put in place for responsible lending is much more rigorous.
Yeah.
So I think where it used to start of what can I buy, let's go out and look at properties, I think it's now starting with I need to talk to a broker first. Yeah. That's never happened before.
Can I also just say, guys, because it just reminded me yesterday when I was having my vendor meeting, with one of my vendors about the market turning. They'd said to me, oh, but, we've had another agent we've spoken to and they say that we can still get something with a 3 in front. Please just be aware, if you're on the market at the moment and you're hurting and you've been on the market for a while and been caught in the turning of it, just be aware of that. There are agents that are around that will tell you the things that you may want to hear if you're hurting and you have been caught in that turning of the market. Do your own research. The data is out there. Sometimes people will tell you the things that you want to hear that's not correct. So just make sure that you're actually really investigating and looking at the facts, particularly at the moment, when there are some people out there that are hurting. So, and also just on that note, Mark, changing agents is much easier than you think, particularly for a management. If you are being managed by an agency and you are not happy with the services of those property managers, changing over is much, much easier than you think. As you know, we manage over 1,600 properties. We're continually taking over managements.
Yep.
And we as an agency will pay out that management agreement for you and make the exercise so easy. You don't have to do a single thing.
Same tenant, you can keep your tenant.
Absolutely.
And it's so the paperwork's very easy.
Yeah.
The cost is very easy. It's nothing generally. Everything's easy. The amount of time for it to happen very quickly.
It is.
So to switch your agent with sales and with rentals.
And not
easy.
Awkward. And we have those conversations, by the way, with the outgoing agent. We have those conversations for you.
And any Muppet could have sold the properties in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
So now we're seeing the Muppets not selling property and the client's going, oh my God, what are my options? Hence, it's easy to switch.
It's dividing the boys from the men or the women from the girls.
Yeah.
On that, actually, can I just say congratulations to the Real Estate Institute of New South Wales and Leanne Pilkington on Tuesday for putting on an unbelievable event. Women in Real Estate, 500 women all in one room. Congratulations. It was amazing. I know Mark says, where's the Men in Real Estate event?
Yeah, the Men in Real Estate event is going to be next couple of weeks. No women are allowed to come. It's just
There were some men there, by the way. But in saying that...
Are you sure they were men?
They definitely were men. But you know what? In saying that, it was an amazing thing to see, women building women up. Sometimes women can be very good at bringing women down, but in this instance, that was not the case at all. It was a bunch of very inspiring women, and I had an absolute ball. So thank you so much for having me there.
Go Women in Real Estate.
Yeah. See you guys. Have a great week.
See you. Bye.
Bye.